Worry lines can run deep. With increasing commodity prices, higher price volatility, and rising input costs, America's farmers rely on crop insurance to protect their crops and livestock. Crop insurance, providing peace of mind now and for the next generation of agriculture.
Congressman-elect Doug LaMalfa, thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about why you wanted to represent California's 1st District in the next Congress?
Well, we're real excited about the prospect here. We've been able to represent the same general area for 8 years in the state legislature, 6 in the Assembly and 2 in the state Senate. And so I think we've already got a good background to be able to hit the ground running on the issues that are important to the district, as well as the fiscal issues that are important to everybody, the whole country, to try and help be part of a process to set that on a direction that we think is long-term responsible and feasible for budgeting or the things that are going to make the economy grow and stable. And so in our area, again, the things that are pretty key to our area are the things that come from our resources in Northern California as far as our economy and its potential. We have a lot of timber, minerals, and underground assets, with a lot of natural gas and things of that nature. Of course, the heavy agricultural area, and all the related industries that feed into that. So there's so many things that are interrelated to what's indigenous to the area on its economy that we need to be able to restore that or to foster that economy to be able to come back and grow once again.
As a rice farmer, what are your biggest concerns on the national level regarding agricultural policy?
I think one key element that is important to everybody, not just agriculture, not just as a farmer, but is energy policy. And so, because it affects everybody in their cost of doing business, the cost of running their household, or just taking their kids to the school, the cost of running school buses themselves. So having an electricity source that keeps up with demand at reasonable rates and a fuel supply that is more and more domestic, I think helps all those things in our economy. More specific to agriculture in NorCal is the atmosphere of regulations that have come across sitting as a state legislator that comes across my desk there, as well as what we see coming down from Washington. I live it as a businessman, but also I see it how it really inflicts damage and a lot of pain on people in these types of businesses here, when a lot of these regulations aren't even reasonable or necessary with the way they're carried out. We need to have some level of regulation so everybody is playing right and being responsible, but we see the pendulum has dramatic shifts, and it's really shifted, I think, to an extreme on what they're doing with people's water rights and with the ability to use the tools they need to do their job in agriculture.
Are regulations one of the topics you hear most about from your constituents?
Absolutely. We have, in the far north part of the district, Siskiyou County, we've got a lot of farmers and ranchers and people that were in the mining industry too, which gold mining has basically been just about shut down in California. Well, California's kind of founded on that. And so there's reasonable regulations you can do environmentally, but again, the pendulum swings so far, it just becomes an absolute no. So we hear a lot of that from our Siskiyou friends, as well as all through the North State and the whole state, that the regulations have gone so far that it makes it where it's unpalatable to really try and be in business, or certainly expand your business or hire more people. That coupled with Obamacare coming down the pike, the cost of doing business is just going to be making an incentive to export more jobs or export the economy to elsewhere, and we just become a service economy.
Do you think Obamacare will have a specific impact on agricultural businesses as well?
Probably not the dramatic impact there, because the number of employees that most farms have are going to be below that cutoff level here. Mm-hmm. So most of them are smaller businesses, but what you can probably see happening in the future is they may modify it and lower that number, because a lot of people are going to be trying to opt out or do the things you naturally would. Just because a condition is placed upon you doesn't mean you just sit there and conform to it. You find ways to work massage that issue or whatever so that it's to the best advantage to your business. So they may try and modify that in order to snare more people into it. So you never know. We'll see what happens.
When you begin your term next year, you'll be involved in another divided Congress with Republicans controlling the House and Democrats the Senate. What's your sort of strategy to deal with that, and just how big of a challenge do you think that's going to be again?
Well, the American people expect us to get things done at the end of the day. We're also expected to come here and have the debate and be passionate about it when it's things we disagree about, because that's the way it's supposed to be in our representative republic. We come here, we hash out the issues, we come up with something that works for people. It isn't just, sometimes they say compromise means having something that you put together that neither side likes. Well, I don't subscribe to that, because somebody has to like it. It has to actually work for the policy for somebody. Just because you're making everybody partially unhappy doesn't necessarily mean it's good. So it has to be sound policy on mathematics, on economy, on actually helping people. So we'll have some spirited debates and battles, but there's also, my experience in the state legislature, there's many things we got done by unanimous vote that were, wholly agreed upon by both sides. And what I can see applying here is that California has a large delegation of legislators, and by and large, most of them have come through the state legislature itself. And so I know many of them, and I've gotten along with them in the past. Yeah, we're not the same ideologically all the time, but having that rapport, having that base of respect, I think we can at least work within our subgroups to say, I can agree with you on most of what you're saying here, but maybe we can modify this portion and keep it on a friendly basis instead of sometimes the acrimony that you see, whether it's real or just something that's portrayed by media.
Sure.
We can build on that. So I have several colleagues coming right now that I served with in the state legislature just previously on both sides of the aisle. So, there's hope for that. There always has to be hope that we can get it done when the chips are down.
And finally, do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about your personal experience in agriculture?
Well, we have a family farm that has been in our family. This is our 81st crop year that we just completed, farming rice in Northern California. And started by originally my great-grandparents bought the first plot of land there, and so we've been tending to that ever since. I've been at it ever since I got out of college in 1982 from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I guess on the professional side, but before that, I grew up as a kid around that, doing any little job, cleaning out boxes, irrigation-wise, or hoeing puncture vines or whatever needed to be done. Later on, driving the equipment and putting the time in, disking or whatever. So my experience is, the real deal from being on our farm for many years before the political inclination, I think, became necessary. And so I've been blessed with the opportunity to be able to serve in this role. What my family's done, the groundwork that they've laid to have this farm that we've been able to all make a living at has also afforded me the opportunity to be able to serve in a different role. And this elected role is one that obviously somebody has to do. And so I think what people have responded to pretty well in Northern California is they like farmers, they trust them. I think they like how their view of the world is from maybe just a plain horse sense, common sense way of looking at things is a plus. And so having been in a business, having me and my dad, my family managed a business, is a big plus when you apply it to government and budgeting and policy and all that. So it's very rewarding to live on a place like that. Great to raise your kids and just be able to go outside and not have somebody bugging you.
Sure.
Jump on your bike and buzz up and down the roads on your three-wheeler or what have you. And the hunting, everything that's good about rural life and outdoors and not having neighbors nearby is what's good about the lifestyle, as well as you like to think that you're producing something that people need. People need the basics, food, fiber, and shelter, and we're providing the food side of that. And so I think that's what's really important about whatever policy comes out of Washington, is that food needs to be grown domestically in this country and not have a reliance on imported, especially the staple foods like the grains, the breadbasket foods that feed everybody. We're actually an exporter of that. We help a lot of other people around the world with our rice and our wheat and other grain that goes to help those in famine or with the in the poverty-stricken countries. So we have a definite role here that I think is important, and that whatever policy comes out of this place, whether farm bill or other policy, it needs to preserve that agriculture is strong and viable in the U.S. Otherwise, strategically, we'll place ourselves in great peril. I like to say, if you like imported oil, you'll love imported food.
It's a national security issue.
It really is. So it's important that we develop policy that sustains, hopefully, in the marketplace, a strong agricultural backbone for this nation into the far future.
Congressman Doug LaMalfa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.